Yes, we are coming to you live from Gaithersburg in Maryland. And I have Dr. Harriet Kamendi. The last time we talked was through the Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Dr. Harriet Kamendi, I want you to introduce yourself and say hi to our friends and our viewers wherever they are in the world.
Listeners of Trumpet of Hope, good afternoon. My name is Harriet Kamendi. I'm a scientist by training. I hesitate because I wear a lot of hats. But I'm a scientist by training. And in my day-to-day work, I help companies that are developing drugs to navigate their journey to the FDA. FDA being the primary regulator in the USA, but I also help them when they're accessing other companies other regulators like PPB, EMA, depending on where your region is. So that's my bread and butter. But my other hats are, I make products that are cannabis based, and they are therapeutic products because they help people who are ailing from pain, and that's pain from anything, from arthritis, from cancer, from depression, because depression is a form of pain that people are experiencing. And I also make the products from scratch. So I make them available to people so they can benefit.
This is very interesting because for as far as we are concerned, cannabis nefagi,
yes,
ni bangi, marijuana.
Yes.
What are the other names?
Marijuana, okay, cannabis, marijuana, bangi. I'm forgetting the names from all over Africa and in the Asiatic countries. So and it changes names as it crosses boundaries. And so there are like 10 names that are already in use on the continent. But the key name is marijuana. And the other key name in Africa is bangi.
But we have a concept, we are made to know that bangi is bad.
Well, it depends on who is telling you bangi is bad. Bangi is not bad. Bangi is a product that has been around for 12,000 years. 12,000 documented years of use. And for the entire 12 years, it's not until the 1900s when bangi became a bad plant. And that's because the people who demonized it wanted to sell tobacco, one, and the other group wanted to sell paper. So if you just think about the uses of the plant, you begin to understand why those groups wanted to suppress it. So bangi in itself is a plant that has, according to the US government, has more than 2,200 uses.
According to the US government.
Yes. Yeah. Take note, the US government has a patent on the cannabis plant, a patent that they put out in, I think in 2013. That is, if you can go online and read about it. But in it, there are 2,200 documented uses. Among them is medicinal. The other uses are paper. It can be used to make paper. There are people making bricks so you can build your house from it. There are people making plates, containers. I mean, it has so many uses, it's not even funny. I can only name but a few. But most importantly, bangi is a plant that is used to recycle carbon from the environment. So one of the most important key uses that has been documented is if you recall, there was Chernobyl. It is being used to clean the Chernobyl disaster. So they're planting bangi in all those toxic waste, and then it recycles the carbon and comes up as a plant, which we can use. Yeah.
Now this is very interesting.
I remember Wajakoya selling this, and
I was just coming to tell you about Wajakoya.
Yes, and Kenyans saying, no, it's a bad plant. No, bangi is not bad. It's time we started looking at it from the value it provides to human beings, and we can take any use and go down the pigeonhole. I just choose the medicinal part.
This is very good. Dr. Harriet Kamendi is a Kenyan, born in Kenya, and you went to which high school, by the way?
I was born in Pumwani Maternity. I went to Park Road Primary, Pangani Girls High School. But I finished in Mary Hill Girls High School. I went to Egerton University before I came to the US.
And right now you have been specifically concentrating your expertise and your education into medicine.
Yeah, so once I got here in the US, I attended several schools, but I ended up at Howard University, where I graduated with a Ph.D. in pharmacology. Now, pharmacology is a science that studies mechanisms of drug action. So once I was done with my PhD, I went to George Washington University, spent 4 years there just doing research. And then because of the work I was doing, I was hired by AstraZeneca. My goal from the beginning had been to learn how to develop drugs. And while going through that PhD journey and into AstraZeneca, I was just absorbing the process. But still didn't give me a full vision of what it is that it meant to make a whole drug. So I did leave AstraZeneca after they had, we call them realignment. So we got laid off. I came out into the space and started my own company. I tried to do, I wanted to do exactly this, to make drugs, but I realized I didn't know enough. So I fired myself from my company and went to work for another company. In that company, I did grow though. I learned a little bit about the initial process, or rather I pulled it together based on what I had learned at AstraZeneca. And then I went to a company, it's right here in Gaithersburg, called Emergent. And I learned, those guys put me in charge of the process. So I learned the process. And I left after 2 years because once ukionja biashara,
Yes,
it's very hard to come back and just be satisfied with a job. So I left again. After I left, I'm now armed with a little bit of information up and apale, but I still want to make more. So I met an older gentleman, a white guy from here, very interesting guy that really grew my mind in terms of, he wanted to learn about how cannabis can be used as medicine from a scientific perspective, which is what I am, a scientist. And he was manufacturing cannabis. And I can tell you, that's the first time I go into a space where I understand the science. I know exactly what the plant does, but I didn't have complete visibility of making a drug. And this guy introduced me into that space.
That's beautiful.
So for that company, they wanted me to tell them how cannabis can be used to treat addiction. And addiction, we started in addiction because addiction is what I had done for my doctoral work.
Wow.
So I went in there. Initially, like everybody else, I only knew one thing about banking in Mbaya. So when he asked me to do the work for him, I told him, I don't know what you expect to find, but this might be nothing. He told me, just go look. So I went into the literature and I did a massive literature review, and I was completely shocked by what I found.
Hang on in there. This is beautiful. I'm loving the conversation. So, Dr. Harriet Kamendi, right here. Tonight, we are just going to discuss about the cannabis and the medicinal value and the other things that she is doing in line to cannabis. And I don't know what we are going to do to get rid of the myth that it is bangi. I see what is happening in Rwanda right now. Rwanda has already come up with a company, but I don't know whether it is benefiting the Rwandese people.
Well, I have looked at, are there 6 countries now that have legalized cannabis in Africa? And if anybody has grown coffee or pyrethrum or tea, and you've seen the model and the way it works and how it does not benefit the farmer, this cannabis story is being rolled out like that in those countries. In order for, in my opinion, in order for this story, cannabis story, to make sense to us and to make sense to the farmer, to the consumer, and to the country, we have to just allow people to grow cannabis, and people are creative enough to develop the best form of cannabis that we need for whatever it is that we need. Because, like I said, the plant has 2,200 uses documented. If we are going to use cannabis to make bricks, we need to understand which strain of cannabis it is that we need to grow to make bricks. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. If we are going to grow, to use cannabis for making clothes, we need to know which strain of cannabis we should grow for that. If you do what Rwanda and Malawi and Zambia and Zimbabwe, if you do what they're doing, we are just benefiting everybody else, just like they are doing right now, harvesting, mining, and taking it out of the country. That's not going to benefit us. If you want the bottom line to benefit us, we must grow it without control, and we must be allowed to develop the strains that make sense to our country. Because if we don't do that, we are tying our minds up to what somebody else wants. And that, in that regard, you allow a few people to go into the economic zones to grow it, and then it is harvested and it is shipped out, and then you incinerate everything else. How did that benefit Kenya? It did not benefit Kenya at all. It did not benefit the Kenyan.
But how are we going to get to control the bad use?
The bad use you can't control. It's already being used right now, with or without regulations. Mtu anataka bangi, leo atakunywa. That's the part we all forget. Mtu anataka bangi, atakunywa. The people who cannot access bangi, ni wale wanaihitaji, the wagonjwas. Those ones have no access. They can't access the treatment that they need to heal. This thing is not expensive. If we grow it the way it's being grown in South Africa, it's the only place I've seen that it's being grown responsibly. Responsibly, in my opinion. So, because they have allowed everybody to grow. So you have everybody growing, and now you have a plant. It becomes like maize. What should I do with it? If somebody is going to be creative with it, they are going to be creative. If they are not going to be creative, they are not going to be creative. Atakuza yake tu ya kukunywa. The one who wants to be the farmer, atakuza yake ya kukunywa. Lakini, personally, I think that focusing on the export market is a dangerous premise for the country. We must first focus on our need.
Professor Wajakoya, I have your fan and your professional supporter through science, scientifically tested and proven. And as you have heard, she has actually gone through school and worked on exactly what we need as a country. That means it can help us as a nation.
No doubt. No doubt. I have no doubt that it can help us. It is a food if you grow it. If you grow it for the hemp seed is a food that contains omega-3 and a lot of protein. It is a nutritious plant. Even if you don't eat it, give it to your cows. The milk is stellar.
Oh my goodness.
This research has been conducted extremely widely. And if you really think cannabis is a bad plant, can somebody tell me why Israel is giving it ad lib to its citizens? Can somebody explain to me why Israel? Cannabis grows. They import cannabis, but they grow most of it. They provide it for their patients. If you have a product and you want to do a clinical trial, cannabis product, and you want to do a clinical trial in Israel, all you need to do is write up the clinical trial. They don't even need the basic science, because it is known that it does not harm human beings.
Let me ask you, if you are to meet Ruto, what would you tell him?
President Ruto, please approve cannabis grow and let Mwananchi grow it, innovate, so that we can determine what uses we can put cannabis to, because there are many. There is no losing. You don't lose with cannabis. There is no loss.
Wow. Thank you so much. Dr. Harriet Kamendi has come with wonderful products. Hapa zimeja. You can see. Now she will take us through some of the things that she has, and she'll tell us the different uses. I know very well that research has been done, test has been done, especially the cancer patients and so many other things. Take us through this.
So, you can make once the plant grows, the plant is divided, or you can divide it like any other plant. There's a flower, there are leaves, there's a stem, there are roots, and there are seeds in some plants. The seeds are used as food by human beings. Hemp seed is a nutritious food component that people add into their salads. You can add it into your smoothies, and it provides a lot of nutrition, protein, and omega-3, which we are lacking in our diets mostly. That's one. Two, the leaves can be used to make bedding. You can use it you can plow it back into your ground. It's a very nutritious leaf. The stem is used to make cotton leaves, or not cotton, cloth, for clothes. It's also used to make paper. The roots contain some cannabinoids which are very effective for arthritis and other things. The flower is where the medicinal part is. So you take the flower and you dry it, and then you can extract it using many various ways. There's carbon dioxide extraction, that's the cleanest. You can extract it in hexane, that has some, it's good, but it's not that great, yeah. But once you have the cannabis oil, you can formulate it into different things. And there's a whole set of purifications to get to the cannabinoid itself. This is an oil in a bottle. I don't think I've opened this one, but I'm going to open it. So this particular oil, it comes with a dropper, and this thing is potent. So you're only required, based on how we formulate it, it comes as approximately 500 milligrams per bottle of 10 ml. So this is 30 ml, so it would have 1500 milligrams.
Wow, this is a hemp oil.
Yeah, it is formulated in hemp oil, yes. So you will take, once you receive this, you only take a few drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. We normally recommend up to 5 drops. Some people take 1 and they are fine.
Can we try?
Some people take 5 and they are fine.
Okay.
I want to remind everybody, there are a lot of uses. Let me just say the most critical use that has been documented by the FDA is for epilepsy. Children with intractable epilepsy seizures that have more than 1 seizure a day, and that is resistant to other treatments, has been responsive to this. So children are having a good quality of life. And I would say, while the product that is developed and in the market, product developed by a company called Jazz Pharmaceuticals, and is in the marketplace, I've never used that. However, I've used some of this, and I know at least one boy who has not had a seizure, who has been seizure-free for the last 3 years. No, actually, he started taking it in 2019, 2020. So it's maybe 4 years without a seizure. A guy who used to have 5 to 10 seizures a day. And that's somebody I know.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we have, it can be formulated as a balm. Yeah. And the way we formulate this one is so that when you take a little bit, unapaka kwa mali unasikia uchungu.
Like arthritis.
Yeah, like arthritis, like athletes, when they're running and they fall, wanasikia uchungu, you can actually apply it. And even though the scientists are still arguing that, it's going to change into THC, we have not seen any evidence of that. But what we have are some of the top players using this balm to treat their injuries. Because so far what we've seen is that when these sports guys, they get injured, they go to hospital, most of them are given opioids, oxycodone, they get, some of them even get morphine, and they end up addicted to opioids. Part of the reason there's such a huge crisis with opioid addiction.
Yes.
And what we found is that instead of getting an oxycodone, you can actually apply the hemp on you, wherever it is that you're injured, and you get relief. So
this is getting interesting, yeah?
Yep. So, and this is just a bigger one.
Okay.
The drops, we call these drops, can also be formulated as, what are they called?
Capsules?
Capsules, like vitamin D. And actually our goal is to formulate it together with vitamin D, because yeah,
those are
soft gels.
These are soft gels.
Yeah, and each of them is supposed to have 25 milligrams, and you take one in the morning and one in the evening.
You're good.
Yeah, they have people who take one a day, and they say it works very well. This is my show one. Then we have a lotion for people with skin conditions. Yeah.
This is CBD.
Yeah, it's made
hemp
with
oil.
Hemp oil also, but it's a lotion cream.
It's a lotion.
Yeah. And so it is just a nice, if you apply it, it's a very nice cream. Yeah.
So I apply like this.
Yep.
Where? Here it is.
Yeah.
So I just.
Yes, and
here we are.
It's a regular good old lotion. You can use it on your face. And you can use it all over your body. Yeah. If you have an inflammatory condition, say, for example, people who have mild psoriasis, they can apply. Over time, it will just clear. And as long as you keep applying it, it will be fine. I also have people who take these drops and apply them directly on their skin. So there are people who do not care to formulate it, and that's because CBD is a fat soluble component. So when you apply it on your skin, it's very easy. It will be absorbed very easily, and you can use it. There are people who just use it like that, without formulating it in lotion or in CBD. Wow. Yeah. I brought this. I don't make this, but I brought this because we also are making gummy bears. And these are actually prohibited in some states. They are prohibited in some states because children. Okay. Yeah, and we don't want children to find it there and think it is some nice gummies. Yeah, I have a niece who once took vitamin D, a whole bottle of vitamin D, because they tasted good. So we don't want children. Oop. Okay. So I'm going to take this out because it is for sure. Yeah, it's a gummy bear. So this is smells good. Yeah, and there are all kinds. So we have this one is a wet. That's why it's that's why it gets coming together. Yeah. And it is formulated with an oil, so it breaks down the gummy bear. But we make this, and in the various forms. So the one thing to note about cannabis or cannabinoids is that there are over 100 chemicals called cannabinoids. So when I was saying you grow a plant, you can determine a plant that is very good for pain or very good for depression. And that's based on the cannabinoid profile. Okay. There is another one that is good for people who are trying to lose weight. There is another one for people who are anxious. There are people who can't sleep, and we do offer them. So for example, this one contains CBD and CBN. CBN is a compound that allows you to relax and fall asleep. So when we formulate, we are thinking about what is ailing you. But perhaps one of the most important uses is for women who experience premenstrual syndrome, pain during their period. This guy takes care of that pain just by taking a few drops and applying it on your tummy. So we need to revise how we think about these products. And then we also need to remember that whoever wants THC for addiction purposes will find it. And it is those who are seeking it for the right purpose, their treatment, that cannot find it. All right. So beautiful. I don't know whether you have any question to Dr. Harriet Kamendi. You can feel free to get into her website, or you can call me. I do have a phone number. If you, I can give that. Yes. 240-565-8933. I also have a YouTube channel that you can actually watch some videos that I've created that detail how useful cannabis is for various health conditions. and some educational material on how to identify the cannabis species that you want to look for as you begin a journey into this. So I would say that if you have a question on it, let me know. I can make another video that would inform your journey. Yeah, and you can contact me if you want to try some of the products. We do provide products, small samples for people who are wishing to try. And we also sell for those people who want to try and heal their ailments.
Wow.
Yes.
So this is like if you have cancer, you have tried all the medicines, they are not working, you're still in pain.
Yep.
Then there is a solution.
Yes.
The issue of even losing weight, I think that is the biggest challenge right now.
Yes. Actually, the whole issue of losing weight is a nice story that we should talk about, because with the issue of diabetes, we really, really, really ought to rethink how we are eating. Yeah. We ought to think how we are eating, and we need to eliminate some of the products that cause disease. Yeah.
Wow. This is nice.
Thank you.
So, Wajakoya Professor, let us come up with a way of changing the mindset, the myths, some of the myths that have been there.
Yes.
And then we create a solution to the challenges. Like now in Kenya, we have the tobacco. We have the Meru people with Mogoka. And I know there was a whole issue about it.
Yeah.
And I think some of these questions issues can be handled by marijuana.
Yes, they can be handled by marijuana, but not just that. It's to realize that prohibition has never solved anything. So we might as well just deal with them head on and allow, educate our people so that they can understand where value is and where value is not. Because to me, the issue of addiction is associated with pain. It's pain in the brain. And these people are trying to cure something. So it doesn't matter if you remove that, whatever, if you remove the alcohol, is going to find something else to get addicted to. So you have to be intentional. You have to heal what is causing the pain. You have to heal what is causing the pain.
Wow.
Banning alcohol, banning cigarettes, banning marijuana is not going to solve it, because people continue to grow it on the down and low, and that doesn't help the cause.
Apparently, I have not seen a bangi plant, and I think I should follow her so that we can go and look around and see. Most of the, actually all the states in the US right now, bangi, you can go to a store.
Yes.
You can go to a cannabis store.
Yeah.
They call it dispensary.
Yeah.
And get those things.
Actually, the bangi store is you have to get a medicinal card.
Yes, yes, yes.
But CBD that is derived from hemp, you can buy it from anywhere. Now, you can buy it from anywhere because it is legal per the 2014 hemp bill and I think the 2018 hemp bill. It's legal across state lines. You can carry it. Nobody will ask you about it. People are still shy about it, but you won't be asked about it. If you have THC, there are strict lines. You can't cross state lines with it. So you have to think about what you're doing when you're carrying products containing THC. But products containing CBD are grown under the farm bill, so those are available.
And all these are CBD.
CBD, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ukitaka kununua hii mafuta ya kujipaka, some soft gels, some oil, drops. Sublingual, you drops, ama unajipaka hii, ama ata hii.
Yeah. So this one I just brought the container. It would be like a deodorant. And so I didn't have one ready. So I just brought this to show you. It can be formulated like this for people who don't want to touch it. And you just apply.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harriet Kamendi.
Yes.
I think we have a long way to go, especially as Kenya or even Africa.
Yes.
I think we have a long way to go because we have a belief that bangi ni mbaya, inaharibu watoto na inafanya watu wachizi.
Yes. It's time to start challenging and asking why. Every one of us nowadays carries a small phone. Yeah, let's use it to Google and let's check why these products were outlawed, and let's ask if that question was valid. Because every time we are told that something is illegal, we do not question. People have self-interests. So you normally have to ask, why are you pushing this story? Ask why 5 times and you will discover why.
Thank
or you ask who's funding it and you will know why.